Is a little totally off the cuff, unorchestrated video about how I use Studio Cloud and some of the great features in it. The number one greatest thing about Studio Cloud is its synchronization with ProSelect and its ability to do marketing. Well, those are two things. But, anyways, we track everything in this software and it synchronizes perfectly with Studio Cloud. So let's get into it. This is the overview page. You can plug in your location for the weather. I must admit, I'm not a huge fan of the overview page. I don't really use the schedule that much, although this view is better than the old view. And I usually work from the individual places. And I still go to Google Calendar to look at my calendar because Studio Cloud syncs perfectly with it. Anyways, moving right along from the overview, the next segment is the clients view. Now they have clients, only prospective clients, only leads, and search. So I'm not sure what the difference between search is. Oh, I guess that's new. I've never seen that. But anyways, if you want to find a client quickly, the best way to go is all clients because then it goes through everything. Only clients are people who are active and have an invoice with you. Prospective clients, I would refer to that as your dead leads. And then only leads are people who have come into your pipeline, but they're not yet clients. We use clients to track not only our actual clients, but actually our business partnerships. And I'll show you that. We have different pipelines for tracking different kinds of business partnerships and for tracking the clients themselves when they become leads. Under the client tracking pipeline, I don't use the all client pipeline view. I'm not sure exactly what it would be great for. I use individual client pipelines, and then we have different pipelines based on who they are. The most important one would be our Townsley Portraits lead tracking. It shows every single stage that a client goes through. Holding stage, that's when they come in. Oh, I didn't even know I had some people in the holding stage. That's interesting. And then we send them a welcome email. That's pretty much automated. You just click on the client, moves them over here, composes the email. Then we mail them a thank you letter. That actually we even do that in Studio Cloud, which is a pretty cool feature. It's a goofy interface, but it does do it. So let me just show you what that looks like. So you got your client. They're in a holding stage, and I'm just going to show you, for example, if you move them to the next one, it populates an email, right? This email is totally incorrect, and we have to fix it. But anyways, actually, let me show you something. One other thing about this. Let me show you something about that email. See how we have these nice headers and footers? We've designed those, and then you can upload those to your emails. I know they don't look great here, but they look pretty good when people get them. The only thing I've noticed is when I get them to my Gmail that they are off, meaning you have to turn on images. I guess that's a spam protection feature. So anyways, that's the email, and then it goes through all the stages. After we mail them a letter, then we wait a couple days, then we call. Now, each one of these calls has either an email or a text message. Email or a text message. Sometimes there's no email. Sometimes we do leave a message. We try not to do the same multiple things at one stage. If they fall out of the pipeline, they make it all the way through 4 times and we don't get a hold of them, we put them in the periodically call once a month. If the phone number's wrong, we have an email that goes. If they ask for more info, I don't think that's one we really use so much. And then if they say, yeah, I'm interested, but they're kind of on hold, we put them there and then we make a task, schedule their design consultation. If they fall out and they don't do their design, they don't schedule a session, or they don't schedule their view and order, they go into this pipeline stage. Or if they did not schedule a photo shoot after their design consultation at all, these are stages where all these stages are holding stages where we can go back and look at the list and say, oh, we need to get a hold of those people again. Scheduled their view and order session. We have that activated so that when somebody gets to that stage, it sends an automatic email to an employee at our company who then sends them the Send My Rooms feature from ProSelect. Hey, Ron, it'd be great if we had that automated, like in Studio Cloud would trigger that. And then if we've sent that room invite, it goes here. Last Chance LA. Gosh, I don't even know why these 2 pipeline stages are in here. It must be something new my assistant put. And then when they're dead, we're supposed to convert them to a prospective client or client depending on what they do. Really, it's only convert them to prospective client because if they made it through here and they became a client, they're already a client. Anyways, prospective client would be for people who make it all the way through the pipeline. We don't want them anymore. We also finish this pipeline if they become a client and do actually book. All right, so that's what the pipeline looks like. You can go to any stage and say, okay, today I need to go through all the people I need to call, or I need to go through all my people who are on hold, or here's all my people who have design consultations who haven't done them yet, or etc. and so forth. Cool? Like that last person right here is somebody who's actually done their session, placed their decent sized order, and is totally done. So we can just go here, complete the stage, and they're out of that pipeline. Now, I will point out one thing. Down here in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see the syncing. When you make changes in Studio Cloud, it syncs. And then if you click on this box, it will resync. You should work slowly in Studio Cloud, especially when you're doing setup, changing pipeline stages. Always hit sync before you open a window. Anytime a window is open, any client window, any email window, any window, sync is paused. You make a bunch of changes, change, go backwards, go forwards. It will confuse Studio Cloud. When you make a bunch of changes, close out that window, force a sync, allow it to finish syncing, whatever, and then move on. Okay, so that's really important. I don't use the client reports so much. I should better. And here's all your settings. Some important ones for us are marketing campaigns and tags. Where are tags? Here. So we want to know where everybody came from. So tags can be automated and marketing campaigns can't be, so you have to assign them. But you'll set them up in here like everybody who came from Jack and Jill. We will put them into a campaign. How does that look like? On the bottom, now I know this client's really old because she doesn't have a marketing campaign, but she does have a tag of where she came from. Also, you can have it tag actions, like if she came in through a certain kind of form. And then you could add a referral or a marketing campaign because you would know where she came from. And this was actually a Braemar person, so she actually does have a marketing campaign she could have been. Also, I always suggest you put Braemar 2017, or actually Braemar was last year. Or was it? No, it was 2017. So that you could go back and do a Braemar again in 2018 if you partnered with that association or that country club or whatever you do for your marketing. Anyways, moving right along though, I know we don't have a lot of time. I don't want to make this video too long. The Calendar Hub is really great. The cool thing about it is by using the settings in the calendar, you can set up types and subtypes. So this is something you should really, also of course it syncs with Google Calendar, but types and subtypes is something you should really think about, is what are your types of things? Like a general category for us would be charities, right? But then under charity, and unfortunately, wait, can you group it? Yes. So under charity, we'd have phone meeting, an event, an in-person meeting, setup for an event, a rainbow in-person meeting. That means at our office. A gala event. We shouldn't have event and gala event. Golf tournament. An event, a scheduled thing to drop off a display. A photo booth. Charity headshots. Anyways, my point is, don't have too many types. Have more subtypes. Now, Google Calendar import is an automated type, so if you put something in your Google Calendar, it'll just show up there. Okay? So have more types, less types, and more subtypes. Also, you can do incredible things with the cloud alerts and availabilities to make yourself on cloud booking when you're available to do those things, and also to send reminders, send yourself reminders. Hey, Stuart, you have this kind of event coming up in a couple days. You need to reach out to this person. Hey, client, you have this kind of thing coming up. Hey, employee, you have this kind of thing coming up. Send them a thank you letter. Whatever. You can set up so many different ways to alert yourself, send text messages, etc. and so forth. It's super great. Point of sale is a really great way to track your sales. You have all your reports, so you can pull a sales report. I'm not going to pull my sales report because you don't need to see how much money I made to be happy for me or to be sad for me, depending on how well you do. But anyways, it's super helpful and useful. It's not really the bookkeeping hub. It's really more your tracking hub. On the other hand, order tracking is amazing. So, and the cool thing about this is you can set it up that every time somebody makes an invoice, for example, this person just has a deposit. We take a $75 deposit. Actually, they didn't pay their deposit because they did it online. And a lot of people don't pay their deposits when they do an online booking. But anyways, if they would have paid their deposit, it wouldn't have a line item for deposit. It would just have a credit, kind of long to explain how we do that setup. And then we credit that back to their new invoice. But anyways, my point is really they automatically get in the pipeline, which is super helpful. So you never forget somebody who's got an order. In this case, since it's only a deposit, I'm just going to move it to the end and be like, we're done with that invoice. We're not done with that person, with that invoice. On the other hand, I don't know, Tammy Bridges, her work is still at the retoucher. We needed to send a thank you email. We need to use ProSelect to export their production package to our retoucher. Move the retouching back to the client folder. If I need to make a painting, we need to paint it. We send it to the lab. Actually, yeah, that's digital painting and that's lab. Anyways, and then we can send an email saying your order has been shipped. If there's some reason why it took a left turn, these clients are all clients who, I don't know, there was something wrong with their order or blah, blah, blah. We need to follow up. So they go on hold. And then when they're completed, they're completed. Okay? And then you would just click on them and actually complete the pipeline. And then they'll disappear. Also, let me point out another thing. Pipeline people don't disappear that fast. Jennifer Maxwell is still here. She might sit here for a while until it finishes syncing, but another way you can get rid of them is to go to a different pipeline, go back to that pipeline. Nope, didn't work. And there she disappeared. So it's cloud-based, so just always take that into account. It takes a little while for it to upload the information. It takes a little while for it to re-download and make the changes. Bookkeeping, not something I use. I think my bookkeeper does use it to get some reports and stuff. I'm not 100% sure. It's not super robust, but it's helpful. And the Projects Hub is where you keep your tasks. Now, I've heard that they're going to have tasks that will allow you to, see them on your phone. For me, I have a hard time getting to this. It's just me and sitting down and looking at my actual tasks. So it's divided by projects. So we have for my assistant RT, we have all his projects. For me, all my projects, so we can filter who's supposed to do what. And then you would look at them on the task view and you would show filter, and I can look at all of the stuff that I am supposed to do. So Stuart Townsley, here's all my homework. I am bad at keeping up with this, and it is very, very, very helpful, but I would appreciate if it was on the app and then I could just look at it on the fly. Now, their app is not very robust. It doesn't do a lot of things, but it does really help you look up people when you're walking, if you got to call them, they're at their shoot, and you can't find them, you can look up their phone number. You can't, however, look up like notes or who they are, what their kids are, how many kids they've got, which would be helpful. Cloud services is where you set everything up. I am not sure what that means, cloud settings, but Partner Boost, not sure what that means either. Employee Boost is very important, is where you put your employees in. There's a time card manager. You can get your employees' pay from there. Cloud Alerts is where you set up all those emails and calendar types and text messages. You can even send postcards, not something we do. Cloud Storage. Now, Cloud Storage is what you do for adding images to emails. I'm sure there's other functions of it, but if you want to make an email with a button in it, you would upload the graphic for the button to Cloud Storage, and then you'd be able to add it to an email. Cloud booking is very helpful. You can make web cloud forms, which are very, very helpful. Let's say you want a form on your website, or you want a form for lead collection. That'd be something that could be in a window. It's something that can be used on an iPad. I do that all the time. So here's our photo booth form, and we're gonna copy the link, and then I'm gonna open that up in my web browser, and that's what our form looks like. It's got our logo. Now it looks really small here, but on an iPad you can zoom in and make it bigger. It's not super graphic, they're not super beautiful, but you can also make a form, like I was saying, that would incorporate booking. Yeah? Super useful. We're going to start using that even more often, where client can actually go in and book their appointment for different types right on the thing, and you can super limit it to when you're available. Super great. Cloud proofing, I do not use at all. RetouchUp is just a button. I don't think it actually does anything. I don't know. Retouch Manager, I've never... Yeah, you have to have some kind of integration with them. I don't imagine it does anything because your images don't really go into Studio Cloud. And your subscription, that's where you change stuff, you pay your bills. One of the greatest things about Studio Cloud is, now this is a really old order, I'm not even sure why it's here, is the ability to sync with this. So this is a super old order. I'm on a computer I don't usually use. But if this was a client, which I'm assuming is not in Studio Cloud, you would go to File, Link to Studio Cloud, find her last name. Now she's not going to be in here. Nope. Because this is really ancient. It's a couple years old. Nope. But let's say she was somebody else. There we go. This is a person that doesn't have any orders. So you would link it to her. You would find an event. Now, these are actual events, not an event for in this purpose would be a session, or you could link it to the order appointment or to the session. I link it to the order appointment. You should say consistent, because when you're running a report, you want to know how many. There you go. So now, the cool thing about this is, not only will it link it, it'll pull all the client information into your client setup. Boom, everything's here. Now, when you export this order, let's say she had actually spent some money, it will actually make that invoice with these products in your Studio Cloud with the price. Okay? That means also that you don't have to go in and make things, right? You don't have to go in and make products. Also, when you change the order, let's say they add or subtract to the order, you just hit export order and it updates it in Studio Cloud. In ProSelect. No, in Studio Cloud. So brilliant. Now, let's say you have a second client for this order. Add new album client. And then you could enter in grandma's information and link it to Studio Cloud and send that information and now make a client in Studio Cloud. So that means they would have an invoice as well. You have two separate invoices for one job. Really brilliant. Once again, let's say client's done. They want to pay their bill, right? You would click on this. You would export their order. Oh, that's a beautiful portrait that nobody ever ordered. Anyways, this was like a promotional shoot. So then you'd go. So you once again waiting a minute. You would wait for it to upload from ProSelect, for it to sync down to Studio Cloud. So let's say you're with your client and you're stalling, and you say, hey, let's talk about this and let's talk about that. And then you would open the client order and their invoice will be right here, right? And then you'll click on that invoice and you'll add a payment. And you could do it with a credit card, a saved credit card. You could swipe a credit card. All kinds of great stuff, or just manually enter a payment if you use a different method. They give you a check or you use a different kind of credit card payment system. Anyways, I think that's a brief overview of what we do and how you can use this. If you need help, you can reach out to me, st, like my initials, photog1@gmail.com. I know with any studio management system, it's always overwhelming at first. I have bought and implemented several studio management systems that I have ditched. I won't say that this Studio Cloud's not frustrating. It is. There are glitches. There are things that are weird. Like, you see how when I copied that form link, I just hit a button and it copied this link? When you do that with images, for the link to a cloud storage image, it doesn't copy the link. You have to go in and highlight the link and copy and paste it. There are definitely glitches. There are definitely things that go wrong. I didn't ever showed you a cool feature is printing Dymo labels, right? So here's another cool feature. You want to send a letter to this lady, you would print a Dymo label, print address. Really cool. There's a really weird glitch in this one too, that it always puts you, oh no, not here. I don't know why. It usually puts United States of America at the end of their name. Don't know why. You have to go in and delete it before you print it. Otherwise, it's 4 layers, 4 lines on a 3-line sticker, and it looks weird. And then the other weird thing, even though it's very useful, is you can print a letter to this person. Where is it? Print document using document template. Here's the thank you letter, right? Oops, I did the wrong way. So we're going to print document using document template. We're going to, they changed this view. You're going to preview this. Okay, then you're going to, they just changed this, so it's weird to me. You're going to open it as HTML, which is a strange way to do this, and then you print it from this screen. Okay, it looks super weird here, but you can see here, it formats it correctly and it actually looks nice. One of the glitches in Studio Cloud is that sometimes you'll open this up and there'll be like 5 blank lines, spaces between things. Or actually, you would open it up here, and there would be, 5 lines in between. And it does that in emails too. They've never fixed that. You just have to delete the lines before you send something or print it. Anyways, Stuart Townsley signing out. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too long. Talk to you later.